Shana Tova, everyone. Please find your seats. Please find your prayer books. Please find page 110. We're going to greet the holiday with the morning service starting song for the entire Jewish community all over the world. What? What? Okay. Give me a key.
We are in G.
Play a G. We're going to go. Ma tovu, ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, ma tovu, ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael,
v'ani berov chasecha,
avo beitecha, eshtachave elecha kodshecha, ve'yiratecha, ma tovu, ma tovu, Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, ma tovu, ma tovu, alecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, v'ani tefilati me'on beitecha, Kom mishkan kevodecha, mishkan kvodecha, ani eshtachave, ve'echra lifnei Adonai. Oh, ma tovu, here we go. Ma tovu, ma tovu. Mishkenotecha Yisrael, ma tovu, ma tovu, alecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Please look at the facing page at the bottom. Here in this place of prayer and song, hear the call that stirs the soul. All may enter, let none stand apart. Sisters and brothers, how beautiful and how good. And for the blessings of the morning, which include the blessing for the well-being of our bodies, which is on page 112, and the blessing for the existence and purity of our souls, which is on 114, we tend to want to weave these together. So if you want to follow the Hebrew of the body, look on page 112. If you're more interested in your soul today, look at 114. Asher. Asher yahatzar oh, excuse me, silly me, I gave you the wrong page. That, you know what that means? I have to go to Yom Kippur. So please look at page 12 for the blessing of Torah study. I did the order that we usually do on Shabbat, and I own my error. So on page 112, we're going to read the blessing for Torah study. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, supreme power of the universe. You sanctify our lives with mitzvot and give us the sacred obligation of living and learning Torah. So we're turning to page 119 for our Torah study. This is a very famous passage and we're going to look at it together. It starts, everyone must have 2 pockets. In the right pocket, one should place the words, "For my sake the world was created." And on the left, "I am but dust and ashes." So look at the commentary by Dahlia Marks, a wonderful rabbi who teaches at our seminary in Jerusalem. And she writes, this saying depicts 2 contradictory visions of the creation. According to one, the individual is the crown of creation. According to the other, humanity is dust and ashes. Many people believe that Rabbi Simcha draws a continuum between the 2 visions and calls on us to strike a balance between the 2 extremes. Reach into the proper pocket when needed. But we might take Rabbi Simcha's words as a warning. Both statements caution us against equally dangerous attitudes. Both are indicators of an incomplete self and are laced with a narcissistic thread. And it's all about me stance often reflects a sense of worthlessness. Instead of reaching into the other pocket, instead of pampering one's ego or denying it, we are challenged to use the ego carefully. What other warnings should we keep in our pockets during this season of tshuva? And now you know what it is. It's time to pray for the well-being of the body and the soul. So if you look at page 120 and 122, thank you for your patience with me, Laura.
Of course.
She's going to lead the part for the body. I'm going to lead the part for the soul. Choose your preference this morning.
אשר יצר את האדם בחוכמה ובראבו נקבים נקבים חלולים
Here's the part for the soul.
חלולים
Elohai, Elohai, neshama shenatata bihi tehorati ata berata ata yetzarta ata nefachta bi be'ata mishamra bekibi Elohai, Elohai, neshama she'ata bihi tehorati. Look at page 122 at the bottom. We read the blessing for the soul. Baruch atah Adonai, asher b'yado nefesh kol chai, ruach kol basar ish. Turn ahead to 129. Instead of reading all of the Hebrew blessings for the daily miracles of life, let's read these blessings together at the top of the page. Blessed are the works of your hands, O Holy One.
Blessed are the hands that have touched life. Blessed are hands that have nurtured a child. Blessed are hands that have embraced with love and friendship. Blessed are hands that have planted new seeds. Blessed are hands that have harvested ripe fields. Blessed are hands that have cleaned, washed, mopped, and scrubbed. Blessed are hands that have held pain. Blessed are hands that have become knotty with age. Blessed are hands that are wrinkled and scarred from doing justice. Blessed are hands that hold the promise of the future. Blessed are the works of your hands, O Holy One.
We turn ahead to 132. There's a beautiful chant for Ashrei, not the whole psalm, but just the first lines, and it goes like this. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Od Yehallelujah Od Yehallelujah Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Od Yehallelujah Od Yehallelujah. Last time. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Od Yehallelujah Od Yehallelujah. We're on 135. Hallelujah uzo.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Please join in.
Hallelujah, Vikvurotav, hallelujah, Rogunlo, hallelujah, 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 Shema, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol ha-Shema te-hallelujah, kol ha-Shema te-hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah, Please turn ahead to 136 for a preliminary set of shofar calls. Blessed are we, blessed are gathering, as we open our hearts to the voice of the shofar. Together,
happy are we who hear its call to return, the sacred trumpet of Teshuvah.
Blessed are we, held close by an ancient sound that echoes lador vador, from generation to generation.
Happy are we rising to the joyful cry of a new year.
Blessed are we who hear in these blasts of sound the voice of community.
Happy are we who know its embrace, its season of celebration, its quest for connection and purpose.
Holy is this gift of community, this blessed act of belonging. Shema Yisrael ha-Kedushah shofa'at bakol, alfei revava paneha, melo olam shchinata, hakol echad. Together, hear, O
Israel, the divine abounds everywhere and dwells in everything. Its faces are infinite, its source suffuses all. The many are one.
As you are able, please rise in place for the shofar calls.
Tekiah, Shvarim Teruah, Tekiah.
At the bottom of the page together.
Blessed is the soul-reaching sound of the shofar. It proclaims the purpose of this day. Blessed is community, source of joy, solace, and strength to every living soul.
Please be seated. We turn to page 138 in the middle for Hamelech.
Hamelech Yoshev al Kiseram Benisa Shochin ad marom v'kadosh shemo v'chatuv ranenu tzadikim b'Adonai laisharim navateilah.
In the middle of 140, Yishtabach Shimcha la'ad Malkeinu, our sovereign God, source of holiness and greatness. May your name be praised forever in this world and beyond. Eternal One, God of our mothers and our fathers, your strength, sanctity, glory, and dominion are deserving of song, praise, poetry, hymn, sacred chant, and blessings of thankfulness for all time and eternity.
Baruch atah Adonai, El melech gadol v'tishbachot, El ha'od Adonai niflot, habarchi b'shirei zimra, melech elkei ha'olamim.
Amen. As you are able, please rise for Chatzi Kaddish before the Baruch Hu, the call to worship. Yikadal
ve'it kadash shemei rabbah bi'alma divrach yirutei ve'yamlich malchutei v'chai horu yom nechon uv'chai d'chol beit Yisrael ba'ala u'bizman karim v'imru amen yesh me'ram le'orach le'olam le'almi almayla Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei Kedusha lila lila minko birchata v'shirata tushvechata v'nechamata damiran mi'alma v'imru amen.
Turn the page.
Baruch Hu et Adonai.
We continue in the brief Hebrew passage from the Yotzer on 142 together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Yotzer or v'orei choshech, oseh shalom uvorei et hakol, or olam b'otzar chayim, orot me'ofel amar ve'yehi. In the facing page, illuminate the welders and shipyards with the brilliance of their torches. Let the crane operator lift up his arm for joy. Let elevators creak and speak, ascending and descending in awe. Let the mercy of the flower's direction beckon in the eye. Let the straight flower bespeak its purpose in straightness, to seek the light. Let the crooked flower bespeak its purpose in crookedness, to seek the light. Let the crookedness and straightness bespeak the light. We're together toward the bottom of 144.
Or Chadash Hatzion Ta'ir v'nizkeh kulanu mehera le'oro. Or Chadash Hatzion Ta'ir v'nizkeh kulanu mehera le'oro. Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMeorot.
Turn ahead to page 147 toward the bottom. We're going to prepare for the Shema by doing the blessing of God's love for us through Torah, 147, and then we're going to be looking back at 146. All life springs from a single fountainhead. Listen, Israel, know the oneness at the heart of multiplicity. With love and reverence, bear witness to the Makor HaChaim.
B'toratecha, b'toratecha, v'dabek libeinu. B'mitzvotecha, b'mitzvotecha, v'yachid levaveinu, le'ahava ul'yirah, et shemecha, v'lo nivosh, v'lo nikalem, v'lo nikashel, le'olam, le'olam va'ed. Ki v'shem kodshecha, hagadol v'hanora, matachnu, nagila v'nismecha, nagila v'nismecha, v'shuotecha.
Please turn to 148. We read together in the middle of the page. Bring us in peace from the four corners of the earth. During truth. So with love we acknowledge and proclaim that you are one. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher bi'amo, Yisrael bi'ahava. Turn the page.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
152.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Together you shall love Adonai your God with all your mind,
with all your soul, and with all your strength. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way,
when you lie down and when you rise up.
Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be a symbol before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them, and thus you'll become holy to your God.
I, Adonai, am your God, who brought you out of Egypt to be your God. I, Adonai, am your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet.
So we're going to turn it all the way ahead to page 163. toward the bottom as we prepare for Michamocha and the remembrance of our miraculous escape from slavery. Remember the stories of slavery and you will never stop working for freedom. Remember the fear at the edge of the sea, and self-doubt will never defeat you. Remember when desperation turned to celebration, and you will never let go of hope. Remember the words of the Baal Shem Tov, forgetfulness leads to exile. Remembrance is the secret to redemption. Turn the page.
Mi chamocha bo'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedor b'chodesh, norah tehilot oseferet, shira chadasha, shibechu geolim, leshimecha, אספת הים, יחד כולם, הודו וימלכו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, Kuman Bizrat Israel Ufedech Rumecha Yehuda v'Yisrael Koaleinu Adonai Tzvaot Shemo Kedosh Yisrael Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael.
On 166, before the Amidah begins, an intention. Make every effort to pray from the heart. Even if you do not succeed, the effort is precious in the eyes of the Eternal One.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehillatech. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Koneh HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei B'neihem Leman Shemo B'Yahava. Zochreinu Lechaim, Melech HaFetz B'Chaim, V'Chodreinu B'Sefer HaChaim, Lemancha Elohim Chaim, Melech Ozer, U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד אתה, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח רופאים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשמי עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידה מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. מי כמוך Tocha El HaRachamim Zocher Yitzurav L'chaim Merachamim V'ne'emanata Le'achayot HaKol Baruch atah Adonai Nechayei HaKol.
Amen. Please be seated. As you prepare for Unataneh Tokef, which is the prayer that reminds us that life is precious and death is inevitable, we read a passage from an extraordinary rabbi. His name was Rabbi Aaron Pankin, and he was president of Hebrew Union College, all 4 campuses, and the Jewish Institute of Religion, the combined seminaries and teaching opportunities for the Jewish people in our movement. He died tragically in a plane crash earlier this year in May, and we still mourn even though it's been 4 months. He wrote the following words at the top of page 173 to prepare us for this momentous prayer. Our actions help us live in such a way that when we suffer life's darkest depredations, we will always have a way of coping with them. Our actions may not change the ultimate outcome one iota, but they alter our attitude, bolster our ability to withstand changes, help us handle unavoidable misfortunes better, and see life's value amid chaos and dismay. The top of 174, Uvcheinu lecha ta'aleh Kedushah, ki ata Eloheinu melech, together, and so let these words of sanctity ascend to you, for you are our God and sovereign.
וחותם וסופר ומונה ותזכור כל הנשכחות ותפתח את ספר הזיכרונות ומאליו יקרא וחתם יד כל אדם בו.
Let us embrace the day and its holiness, for this day is a throne of goodness and power. When the people of Israel do God's will, they strengthen God's power on high. But when the people of Israel fail to do God's will, they weaken, if one might say it, God's great power on high. So let this day recall your power and ours. Let it remind us of our promises kept and broken as we remind you of yours. Let this day be a throne of forgiveness, for today we are the accountants of our souls, the navigators of our hearts, seeking wholeness and new direction. And we seek you through signs of your presence in the arc of sacred history.
I make this covenant not with you alone, but with those who are standing here with us this day, and with those who are not.
God of ages past and future, God of this day, as you were with our mothers and fathers, be with us as well.
Shofar. We're turning ahead to page 178 for Rosh Hashanah Yikatevun v'Yom Tzom Kippur Yechatemon.
Yom Som Kippur Yechatemun Rosh Hashanah Yikatevun Yom Som Kippur Yechatemun Rosh Hashanah Yikatevun Yom Som Kippur Yechatemun Kama Yarun V'chama Yibareun Rosh Hashanah Yikatevun Yom Som Kippur Yechatemun Rosh Hashanah Yikatevun Yom Som Kippur Yechatemun Miche Umi Amut Mi V'kitzo Umi Lo V'kitzo Mi va'esh u'mi va'mayim Mi va'cherev u'mi va'chaya Mi va'rav u'mi va'tzama Rosh Hashanah Yikatevun Yom Som Kippur Yechatemun Rosh Hashanah Yikatevun Yom Som Kippur Yechatemun Mi varash Umi varash Umi v'magefa Mi v'magefa Mi v'rash Umi v'magefa Mi v'chanika Umi v'sekila V'rosh Hashanah Yikatevun Uvyom Tzom Kippur Yechatemun Rosh Hashanah Yikatevun Yom Som Kippur Yechatemun Rosh Hashanah Yikatevun Yom Som Kippur Yechatemun Mi anuach u'mi anuach Mi ashkit u'mi etoraf Mi shalev u'mi tyaser Mi oni u'mi ashir Mi ushpal u'mi arum Berosh Hashanah Yikatevun Yom Som Kippur Yechatemun Rosh Hashanah Yikatevun Yom Som Kippur Yechatemun.
Page 180. But through return to the right path, through prayer and righteous giving, we can transcend the harshness of the decree.
Amen.
page 182. We join together. We who are mortal, our origin is dust, and so is our end. We wear out our lives to get our bread, like broken vessels, like withered grass, like a flower that must fade, a shadow moving on, a cloud passing by, mere dust on the wind, a dream that flies away. But for you, ever-living sovereign, time has no limits. Your presence, unbounded by days and years, is everywhere, a glorious mystery none can decipher. Your name is worthy of you, and you are worthy of your name, and our name you have linked with yours. We continue on page 184 with the Kedushah. I invite you to rise as you are able.
Kaddish, 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 et Shimcha Olam, Kaddish, et Shimcha Olam, Keshim Shema Tishimoto, Bishmei Marom, Kakatuv al Yad Levicha vekarazel zeviamar. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzvaot, Melokol haaretz kevodo. Adir, adirenu, adir, adirenu, Adonai, Adonai, Adonenu, Madir, Madir, Shimcha, B'chol haaretz. Baruch Adonai B'chol Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu, hu Malkeinu, hu Mosheinu, vehu Yashmienu, vehu Yashmienu, vehu Yashmienu, Merachamav, Merachamav lenei kol chai, ani Adonai Elohechem, Imloch Adonai leolam, Elohai Tzion, ledur vadur, Alleluia.
be seated. We continue on page 186. We join together. And so, in your holiness, give all creation the gift of awe. Turn our fear to reverence. Let us be witnesses of wonder, perceiving all nature as prayer come alive. We bow to the sovereignty of your strength, the primacy of your power. We yearn for connection with all that lives, doing your will with wholeness of heart. Awe-inspiring is your creation, all-encompassing your transcendent name. Page 188, again we continue together. And so in your holiness, give your people the gift of honor. Bless with praise those who praise you. Bless with hope those who seek you. Give your believers a basis of faith, true happiness for the land of Israel, true joy in Jerusalem. May the sparks of David, your servant, soon grow bright enough for us to see a beam of light in the darkness, a promise of perfection. Page 190, again we continue. And so in your holiness, give the righteous the gift of a vision bright with joy, a world where evil has no voice, and the rule of malevolence fades like wisps of smoke. Good people everywhere will celebrate the stunning sight of arrogance gone from the earth. Page 192. You and you alone, Adonai, will reign over creation upon Mount Zion, home of your presence, and in Jerusalem, a city set apart by you. As the psalmist believed, Adonai will reign eternally, your God Zion, for all generations. Hallelujah. Kedushah v'norah shemecha ve'ein Eloah mibaladecha. You are holy, your name is awe. There is nothing divine beyond you. As the prophet Isaiah taught, the source of all might is exalted through justice, the God of holiness made holy through righteousness.
Baruch.
Baruch atah Adonai, hamelech hakadosh. 194. We join together. You chose us with love to be messengers of mitzvot, and through us you made known your aspirations. Among all the many peoples, you gave us a pathway to holiness. Among all the great nations, you uplifted us and made yourself our sovereign. And so we seek you and serve you and celebrate our nearness to your presence. Your great and sacred name has become our calling.
ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה את יום הזיכרון הזה, יום תרועה, מקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים.
196. Our God and God of the generations before us, may a memory of us ascend and come before you. May it be heard and seen by you, winning your favor and reaching your awareness, together with the memory of our ancestors, the memory of your sacred city, Jerusalem, and the memory of your people, the family of Israel. May we be remembered for safety, well-being, and favor, for love and compassion, for life and for peace on this day of remembrance.
Sacrein Adonai Eloheinu bo l'tova.
Amen.
Ufaktiinu bo livracha.
Amen.
V'yoshiinu bo l'chaim.
Amen.
Eternal our God, remember us.
Amen.
Be mindful of us.
Amen.
And redeem us for a life of goodness and blessing.
Amen.
Page 200. We read responsively. We are stiff-necked and stubborn. Teach us to bend before you.
Convinced we're right, entrenched in our own perspective, we resist your call to repent.
Convinced we're self-sufficient, entrenched in the illusion of control, we resist your call to humility.
Convinced we can have it all, entrenched in the dream of mastering the world, we resist your call to wake up.
Today, you summon us out of our arrogance, out of rigidity, fantasy, shallowness, and self-deception.
Teach us to bend our knees, to bow our heads before the mystery, to realize our frailty and our finitude.
Teach us to make you Melech, sovereign in our life, to align ourselves with your goodness and truth.
We would not bow before Pharaoh. We would not bow before the Persian Lord. We would not submit to any power on earth or give ourselves to any material thing. But we, the Jewish people, stiff-necked, stubborn to the end, Today we bow before you.
Turn the page. And please rise as you are able for the great Aleinu. Page 205. Dwell on each sound of the shofar. Contemplate its meaning. Tekiyah, one whole note. Shvarim truah, 3 broken notes, 9 staccato notes. Tekiyah, one whole note. My return to the right path has the power to make me whole again. Tekiyah, once I was whole. Shvarim truah, in the wear and tear of living, I became broken and shattered. Tekiyah, my tshuva has the power to make me whole again. The blessing for the shofar is on page 206. We join together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'shmoa kol shofar.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Tekiyah, Shvarim truah. Tekiyah, Tekiyah, Shvarim. Tekiyah, Tekiyah, truah. Tekiyah. On the facing page at the bottom. Please be seated. Page 208, we join together. God who is ours and God of our fathers and mothers, lead us to holiness through your mitzvot, and may each of us find a portion of Torah that is ours. You bestow such goodness. Teach us to be satisfied and to know the joy of your salvation. Help us to serve you truly with purity of heart, for you are a faithful God whose truth stands forever.
Baruch atah Adonai, melech kol haaretz, mekadesh Yisrael, b'yom hazikaron.
Amen.
Eternal our God, your people Israel yearns for your favor. Receive their prayer with loving acceptance, and may you always desire your people's worship. Divine One, close to all who call upon you, bring your grace and presence near to those who serve you. Pour forth your Spirit on us, and may our eyes see your merciful return to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shechinato l'tzion. Page 212. For all these blessings, for all these gifts, we sing. Page 214. Our God, divine presence, whose path our ancestors walked, bless us now with words first bestowed on Israel in the time of Moses and Aaron, the threefold blessing given us through Torah that joins our hope with theirs.
Eloheinu v'Elokei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Barcheinu b'Avraham Shulashet, Haktuva b'Torah, Hamura mipieu haKohanim, Am Kedushecha Kamur. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Kein Ratzon.
Yaher Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
Kein Ratzon.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Kein Yehi
God's blessings of shelter and care.
May it be so.
May you receive the light of God's kindness and grace.
May it be so.
May you see God's favor and goodness, and may you partake of God's peace.
May it be so.
A prayer for peace, page 216. We join together in the first two paragraphs. Let there be peace, grant goodness, blessing, and grace, constancy and compassion to us and all Israel, your people. Avinu, bless and unite all human beings in the light of your presence, for your light has shown us a holy path for living, devotion to love, generosity, blessedness, mercy, life, and peace. In your goodness, bless your people Israel with peace at all times.
בספר חיים ברכה ושלום ופרנסה טובה ייזכר וניקח שם לפניך אנחנו וכל עמך בית ישראל לחיים טובים ולשלום ברוך אתה אדוני עושה השלום.
With prayers of peace on our hearts, we turn to the prayers of our hearts, the prayers that we may not share even with the people sitting right next to us. And so I invite you now during this moment of silent prayer to offer those prayers of your heart.
On 222, prepare to go before the open ark for Avinu Malkeinu. As you are able, please rise. Back and forth we call. Loving Father,
Infinite power.
That's your part.
We're on page 222,
Yes,
by the way.
I did say that.
Okay.
Gentle, forgiving.
Lofty, inscrutable.
Avinu,
Malkeinu.
compassionate Mother.
Omnipotent Lord.
Comforting presence.
Fathomless mystery.
Avinu,
Malkeinu.
our rock and redeemer.
Life of the universe.
Close to us always.
Impossibly far.
Avinu,
Malkeinu.
embracing,
Confounding.
accepting our frailty.
Decreeing our end.
Avinu,
Malkeinu.
together none of these are true. None of them are you. Yet we stand as those before us have stood, summoned to judgment, longing for love. Avinu Malkeinu, may these words be a bridge. They come
from our hearts. May they lead us to you.
We continue responsively. Avinu Malkeinu Shema Kolenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, hear our voice.
Avinu Malkeinu chatanu lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you.
Avinu Malkeinu chomol aleinu ve'al olaleinu ve'tapenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and our families.
Avinu Malkeinu kaladever v'cher v'ra'av me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger.
Avinu Malkeinu kale kol tsar umastin me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror.
Avinu Malkeinu kotvenu b'sefer chayim tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived.
Avinu Malkeinu chadesh aleinu shana tova.
Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness.
Avinu Malkeinu chonenu v'anenu ki ein banu ma'asim. Asei manu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu.
Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful,
answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love. Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu Vaneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu ma'asim. Asei banu tzedakah v'chesed. Asei banu tzedakah v'chesed ve'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu Vaneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu ma'asim.
On page 226, we prepare for the Kriyat Torah, the reading of Torah for Rosh Hashanah. If you have been asked to come and hold a Torah and bring it around the congregation for Akafah, please come up to the pulpit now. If you are one of our Torah readers, please come up to the pulpit now. If you are singing with our choir at the Torah service, please go to the choir right now. In the middle of the page, we are the people of the book. Through fire and mud and dust, we have borne our scrolls tenderly as a baby swaddled in a blanket, traveling with our words sewn in our clothes and carried on our backs. Together, let us take up the scroll of the Torah. Let us dance with it and touch it and read it out, for the mind touches the word and makes it light. So does light enter us, and we shine.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh v'norah Shemo. Gadlu Adonai iti, uneromema Shemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagevura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod. Ki chol b'shamayim u'haaretz, ki chol b'shamayim u'haaretz. Shlosha devarim, shlosha devarim, shlosha devarim, ha'olam omeid. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omeid. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omeid. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim. When the ark is closed, you may be seated. Shlosha devarim, ha'olam omeid. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omeid. And she's so fast. Here we go. The Torah portion for Rosh Hashanah is the binding of Isaac. Tomorrow we'll read the story of creation in Genesis. It's on page 240. We have a long tradition here of having groups of people come up to celebrate the years they've had, the years they look forward to. If you have volunteered doing anything at Temple Sinai, if you've been on the board, Watts, Brotherhood, Youth Group, if you've volunteered to do any, if you've ushered, Michael, come on up right now. We want to honor you as our first Aliyah. All volunteers, without whom we could not have a sacred community. I don't care if it's in the front of the hall or in the kitchen, if you've set up chairs, whatever you've done. You're going to be the holder? There you go. Okay, turn around. Okay. Jody, you're... There we go. Okay, Simon says 3 steps forward. 1. Come on, Hadley. 2, 3. They're still coming. They're still...
It's okay. Couldn't do it without you, Ellie. Couldn't do it without you. Couldn't do it without you. We got a mess of volunteers, which makes us so happy because nothing would happen around here without these wonderful people. You can step up. You're tall. It's okay. Okay? Right up here. 1, 2, 3. Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Vahed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Vahed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Vayhi achar hadvarim ha'elev Elohim yisad Abraham. Vayomer elav Abraham. Vayomer hineni. Vayomer kach na et pincha et yechidcha asher ahavta et Yitzchak velech lecha el eretz hamoria velehu sham lelah el echad haharim asher amar elecha. Vayishchem Abraham baboker vayachvosh echamoro vayikach et shnei na'arav ito ve'et Yitzchak bano vayakva et zelah vayikam vayelech el hamakom asher amar lo Elohim.
And so it was after these events, God put Abraham to a test. And God said, Avraham. And he said, Hineni, here I am. And God said, come take your son, your only one whom you love, Isaac, and go forth to the land of Moriah to offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains that I will show you. And Abraham arose early in the morning and harnessed his donkey and took with him his 2 young sons and his son Isaac. Where did you go to? Did you divide the cut? Okay. And he split the burnt offering wood, and he rose and departed for the place that God had said to him. Okay? Blessing afterwards. Come on, guys.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'tokeinu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Eloheinu v'Elokei Avotenu v'Imotenu, our God and God of our fathers and God of our mothers. Many of you know one of my favorite passages from our tradition is the one that quotes our text saying that our children are the ones to maintain us. The rabbis change it to be, no, our builders, our bonayach, not our banayach. You are all our bonayach. You are builders of sacred community. You not only build it, you maintain it. You hold up these walls. You hold up each other. You put the Kedushah, the sacred, in our Kehillah community. Everybody say Yesher Koach. Well, like you mean it. Come on. Okay, Yesher Koach. Second Aliyah, grandparents. If you are grandparents, we want to honor you. We want to honor Lador Vador, the generations here. Jake, you would tell him if he was a grandfather, wouldn't you? You would tell him. You would tell him. There you go. You got it? Come on, Rosses. Come on, grandparents. You just saw the kids, didn't you? Hey, Mark. Okay, Simon says 2 steps forward, 1, 2, and there's room up here by John. John, just don't fall. And still they came. Watch your step, everybody. Use the railing. Use the banister. There you go. All right, look up here to the tiny print. 1, 2, 3. Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Vahed. Amen.
Amen. B'yom hashlishi vayisa Avraham et einav vayeret hamakom merachok vayomer Avraham el ne'arav shulachem po im hachamor va'ani v'hana'ar nelecha ad ko v'nishtachave v'neshuva aleichem Vayikach Avraham et atzei ha'olah, vayasem al Yitzchak beno, vayikach beyado et ha'esh ve'et ha'ma'achelet, vaylechu shneihem yachdav, vayomer Yitzchak el Avraham aviv, vayomer aviv, vayomer hineni beni, vayomer hine ha'esh ve'ha'etzim, V'ayeh haseh le'olah, v'yomer Avraham Elohim, yireh lo haseh le'olah, b'ni, v'yelechu shneihem yachdav.
On the third day, Abraham lifted his eyes and saw the place in the distance. And Abraham said to his young servants, "You stay here with the donkey, while I and the boy go further on. We'll worship and return to you." And Abraham took the burnt offering wood and placed it on his son Isaac, and took in his own hand the firestone and the knife. And the two of them walked off together. And Isaac said to his father Avraham, and he said, "My father." And he said, "Here I am, my son." And he said, "Here is the firestone, and here is the wood, but where is the sheep for the burnt offering?" And Abraham said, "God will see to the burnt sheep for the burnt offering, my son." And the two of them walked off together. Okay, up. Amen. Makor Shalom V'Ruach HaHaba, source of peace and spirit of love. These wonderful people stand here knowing that they have fulfilled the first mitzvah. They have created generations of our people who will help us go on, who will help us pray and work in God's world. It's black letter law of the Torah, Mipnei Seva takum. You shall arise before the aged, V'adarta pnei zaken, and you shall revere the white-headed ones. And some who might be white-headed except for some help. May every one of those white hairs on your head be evidence of the wisdom that you have granted to the generations of your family. May you continue to bless all of us with your wisdom as well, as together we say, Amen. Say Yesher Koach. Okay, if you were born in Pittsburgh, we want you up here. I'm here 30 years. I'm not born in Pittsburgh. It's not my Aliyah. If you were born in Pittsburgh and the surrounding area, Dora, Becca, come on up. It's your Aliyah. Born in Pittsburgh. Kids who were born in Pittsburgh. Russell, you're the holder. You're tall. Come on up. Molly. Where's Molly? We may not be able to fit everybody. It's okay. Do the best you can. Okay, in the back, forward 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. Phyllis, how many are you going to have this year? Who knows? There's space up there. There's space. Come on up, my dear. Come on up. Come on up. You can be on the steps. We have a very native-born population here, don't we? It includes you. You get up here. Get up here. No. Okay. All right, even though not everybody's up, we're going to start here. Make it, no falling. There we go. 1, 2, 3.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayavo'u El Hamakom Asher Amar Lo Elohim Vayiven Sham Avraham Et HaMizbeach Vaya'aroch Et Ha'itzim Vaya'akod Et Yitzhak Beno Vayasem Oto Al HaMizbeach Mimal Eitzim Vayishlach Avraham Et Yado Vayikach Et HaMa'achelet Lisho epeno, vayikra elav, malach Adonai min hashemayim, vayomer Avraham, vayomer hineni, vayomer al tishlach yadecha el hana'ar, ve'al ta'as lo me'uma, ki atayadati, Kirei Elohim ata v'lo chasachta et binha et yihidecha mimeni vayisa Avraham et einav vayar v'hine ayil achar ne'echas basava bekarnav vayelech Avraham vayikach et ha'ayil v'halehu le'olat ha'chapeno Vayikra Avraham Shem Hamakom Ahu Adonai Yireh Asher Ye'omer Hayom V'har Adonai Yireh.
And they came to the place that God had spoken of, and Avram built an altar there. And he arranged the wood, and he bound his son Isaac, and he placed him on top of the altar, on top of the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took up the knife to slaughter his son. And at that very moment, an angel of God called out from the very heavens and said, Avraham, Avraham. And he said, Here I am. And he said, Do not extend your hand against the boy and make no mark upon him, for now do I know that you are a God-fearer, that you have not withheld your son, your precious one, from me. And Abraham lifted his eyes, and behold, he saw there behind him, he saw a ram caught in the thicket by its horns. And Avram went, and he took that ram, and he sacrificed it as a burnt offering in place of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place, the God that God will see. The God is a God of vision, because it is said to this day, on the mountain of God there is vision. Okay. There you go. No falling.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher natan lanu Torah emet. V'hayel olam nata b'dofeinu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Our wisdom literature teaches us that we are to be strong like trees with deep, deep roots that cannot be brought up or blown over by the wind. All of you have deep, deep roots here, not only in the community of Pittsburgh and its environs, but here in this community as well. May you continue not only to extend your roots, but may your leaves be fresh and verdant, and may you continue to bring forth your fruit by which we are all sustained. As together we say, Amen. Say Yeshar Koach. If you have suffered a challenge this year, if you've been in the hospital, if you have gotten a diagnosis, if you've got an actual issue at work, something you've overcome, anything that has caused you to find new strengths in yourself that you can still be here today, please come up now. You're going to hold. Thank you for helping each other down. I think Mrs. Gibson is reading Torah. Hey, Miss G, how do you be? Brian, come on up. Come on. What? Where's your dad? What? Okay. Come on, pack it in. Pack it in. Pack it in. Come here, sweetheart. It's so good to have you here. Come on up. Come on up. Good to see you. All right, 1, 2, 3. Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayikra malach Adonai el Avraham shenid min hashamayim vayomer binishbati neum Adonai ki yan asher asita et hadavar hazeh velo chasachta et binchat yechidecha כי ברך אברכך להרבה הרבה זרעך ככוכבי השמיים וככל אשר על שפת הים וירש זרעך את שאר אויביו והתברכו בזרעך כל גויי הארץ עקב אשר שמעת בקולי וישוב אברהם אל נעריו ויקומו וילכו יחדיו אל באר שבע וישב אברהם
בבאר שבע. And God's angel called out to Avram a second time from the heavens and said, by myself do I swear, declares God, that on account that you did this thing, that you did not withhold your son, your precious one, from me, that I shall surely bless you and make you increase your offspring like the stars of the heaven and the sands on the edge of the sea. And your offspring shall seize the gates of their foes. And through your offspring shall all the nations and all the peoples of the earth be blessed on account that you have hearkened to my voice. Avram then returned to his servants, and they arose, and they went off together to Beersheba, and Avraham remained in Beersheba. Blessing afterwards. Baruch
Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. We quote frequently from Psalm 126, those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. Some of you have sown multiple tears, enough to water gardens, and yet here you stand, full of hope, full of life. May that life continue. May your hopes be fulfilled. May every one of you be the hope that you aspire to be. May your blessings come true in your lifetime, and may you be surrounded by people who cheer you because of the blessings that you are and have attained. As together we say, Amen. Now, if you volunteer in the Jewish community not at Temple Sinai, come on up. That's your last Aliyah. This is the last Aliyah. Excuse me. Come here. Come here. David Ainsman, get up here.
Does yours take?
No. If you volunteer work in the Jewish community not at Temple Sinai, like, I don't know, the person who runs Federation around here, Merrill, come on up. There we go. Do you see where we are? Okay. Hold on a second.
She knows.
It's right there. Okay. Some of you are on the board of the JAA. Some of you are Jewish Family and Children's Service. Some of you do all kinds of things. Anyway, we want to celebrate. Simon says 3 steps forward. 1, 2, 3. David, you hold the Torah. I'll hold that right there. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten Torah.
Amen. We're on page 243 for the epilogue of the story.
Amen. Vayhi aharei hadavarim haila vayigad lavraham lemor hine yalada milha gamhi banim linahor ahiha et uz behoro vet uz ahiv vet kemuel avi aram vet kesh et vet hazor vet pildash vet yildaf vet Betuel, Ubetuel yeladet Rivka, Shemona Ela yelad Yada Milka, Lenahor Ahi Abraham, Vipilacho, Vishama Reuma, Vateled Gamhi, et Teva vet Gam, vet et Taha, vet Maha.
And it was after these things that was related to Abraham that Milcah too has given birth to sons, to your brother Nahor, Uts, a firstborn, and Buz, his brother, Kemuel, the father of Haram, and Chesed, and Chazo, and Pildash, and Yidlaf, and Betuel fathered Rebekah. These 8 Milcah bore to Nahor, Abraham's brother, and his concubine, her name was Reumah, also gave birth to sons, Tevach, Gacham, and Tachash, and a daughter, Ma'akah. Blessing afterwards. Hold it. Oh, there we go. 1, 2, 3. Amen. Elohei Enu Velohei Hadorot, our God and God of the generations. So much strength stands before this ark, this Torah, and this community. So much fulfillment of promise. So much more promise to come. May all of these people, may their wishes be fulfilled, that we become a community so strong for all of your work on our behalf, not just here within these walls, but out throughout the entire community, the Jewish community and beyond. May our chains of tradition live within us, so we may share them with all those that we touch in our life in the community. As together we say, Amen. Say Yesher Koach like you mean it. Now, just to let you know, our Torah readers today were mostly students. Sophia Levin, Eli Half, Molly Brenner, Ariel Sonnenberg, and one older student named Barbara Gibson. Yamdu, Hag Magbiya Vagolelet. In preparation for Hag Banglila, will Nathan and Hadley please come to the Torah? But first, a Mishaberach. The Mishaberach we'll be singing is on page 245 in the middle of the page. Please think of those in your lives who can't even be here because they are in need of healing, or those who simply carry their pain inside. We wish for them surcease and ultimately joy. Mishaberach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the one before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu mikor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Please rise as you are able, as the Torah is lifted on high.
I'm going to take this. Okay, you know what to do. He's practiced.
To guard you here.
Okay.
Pull it down. Beautiful.
He's got it.
V'zot
Torah asher sam
Go to
Moshe.
that chair. Biad Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah. Where's Laura Fell and Stephanie Birnbaum? Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah. Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah. Torah. Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Torah tziva lanu Moshe. The Haftorah for today is 1 Samuel chapter 1, verses 1 to 2:10. The blessing for that Haftorah is on page 247. The text itself is on 250. You got it?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar bivim tovim veratzah divrehem hanemaret be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'Torah u'Moshe avdaho u'Vizrael amoho yiveh ha'emet v'zedek.
Amen. Let me hear that. Okay. Page 250. And there was a man from Unataneh Tokef, from the hills of Ephraim, whose name was Elkanah, or God creates, son of Yeroham, son of Elihu, son of Tohu, son of Tzuf, an Ephraimite. And he had two wives, one named Hannah, or Grace, and the other named Peninnah, or Pearl. Peninnah had children, and Hannah had no children. And this man would go up from his town every year to worship at Shiloh and to make offerings to the Eternal of heaven's hosts. And there Eli's two sons, Hophni and Pinchas, were priests of the Eternal. And on the day when Elkanah would make offerings, he would give portions to his wife Peninnah and to each of her sons and daughters. And to Hannah he would give a special portion because he loved Hannah, and the Eternal had closed her womb. And her rival wife would taunt her cruelly to make her tremble with grief, for the Eternal had closed her womb. And so it was, year after year, when she would go up to the house of the Eternal, she taunted her, and she would cry out and not eat. And Elkanah, her husband, said to her, Hannah, why do you cry and why do you not eat? Why are you disheartened? Am I not worth more to you than 10 sons? And Hannah arose after the eating and drinking at Shiloh, while Eli the priest sat upon the throne near the doorpost of the temple of the Eternal. And she, bitter to the core, prayed to the Eternal, weeping and crying. And she vowed and said, Eternal of heaven's hosts, if you will truly see your servant's affliction, and remember me and not forget your servant, and give your servant a son, I will give him to the Eternal all the days of his life, and no razor shall be lifted to his head. And as her praying before the Eternal intensified, Eli watched her mouth, and Hannah, she was speaking only in her heart. Though her lips were moving, her voice could not be heard. So Eli thought she was drunk. And Eli said to her, "How long will you persist in your drunkenness? Put away your wine, get rid of it." And Hannah answered and said, "No, my lord, a woman of sorrow am I. I drank neither wine nor spirits, but poured out my soul before the Eternal. Do not take your servant for a worthless woman. All this time I've spoken from the depth of my anger, from the greatness of my grievance." Then Eli answered and said, "Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant the request you have made." And she said, "May your servant find grace in your sight." And the woman went on her way, and she ate, and her face was no longer as it had been. And they awoke early in the morning and worshipped before the Eternal. And they went home, returning to Ramah. And Elkanah knew Hannah his wife, and the Eternal remembered her. And so it was that at the turn of the year, Hannah conceived, and then gave birth to a son. And she called him Samuel, Shmuel, because I requested him from the Eternal. And the man Elkanah and his whole household went up to make the annual offering to the Eternal and to fulfill his vow. But Hannah did not go up, for she said to her husband, "Until the boy is weaned, then I will bring him. Once he appears before the Eternal, he will stay there forever." Elkanah, her husband, said to her, "Do what you think is best. Wait until you have weaned him. Surely the Eternal will fulfill what your mouth has uttered." So the woman stayed and nursed her son until she weaned him. When she had weaned him, she took him up with her, with a 3-year-old bull, 1 ephah of flour, and a skin of wine, and brought him to the house of the Eternal, to Shiloh. And the boy was young. They slaughtered the bull and brought the boy to Eli. And she said, "Please, my lord, as you live, my lord, I am the woman who stood here with you praying to the Eternal. It was for this boy that I prayed, and the Eternal granted my request. I in turn grant what the Eternal asks of him. As long as he lives, he is dedicated to the Eternal." And there they worshipped the Eternal. And Hannah prayed, saying, through the Eternal my heart knows joy. Through the Eternal my horn is raised. My mouth opens wide against my foes, for I exult in your deliverance. There is nothing holy like the Eternal, for there is nothing beside you, and there is no rock like our God. Speak no more in lofty tones, let arrogance leave your mouths. All-knowing is the Eternal God, whose deeds cannot be measured. The bows of the mighty are broken, while those who falter find strength. Those who were full sell themselves for bread, and the hungry hunger no more. The one who is barren bears 7, and the mother of many is bereaved. The Eternal is the maker of death and life, takes down to Sheol and brings back up. The Eternal makes poverty and wealth, casts low and raises aloft, lifts the poor from the dust, causes the needy to rise from dung heaps and dwell among princes, then places them on thrones of honor. For the pillars of the earth belong to the Eternal, who founded the world upon them, who watches over the steps of the faithful while turning evildoers silent in the darkness. For not by power shall a human being prevail. The Eternal shatters foes, thunders against them in the heavens. The Eternal judges the earth from end to end. So may God give strength to the sovereign and raise high the horn of God's anointed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzor kol olamim, tzadik bekol hadorot, hayel hanemon, homer v'yoseh, hamdaber umkayim, shekol devarav emet v'tzedek. Al HaTorah, ve'al Havodah, ve'al Nivim, ve'al Yom HaZikaron hazeh, shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu lechavod ultifaret. Al HaKol, Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach, umorchim otah, yitbarak shemcha befi kol chai, tamid le'olam va'ed, u'devarcha emet v'kayam lad. Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Shemo,
melech al kol haaretz, mekadesh Yisrael, v'yom hazikaron.
Amen. Stephanie. Hey, let's go.
you.
We turn now to page 267 as we continue with the Shofar service, with the Zichronot and then the Shofarot. Please rise as you are able. God of remembrance, remember the covenant of our ancestors. We reaffirm it today. Remember, we are a people of noble ideals. Help us attain them. Remember all your people, all the nations on the road to peace, and bless their efforts. Remember with mercy the binding of Isaac, the sorrow of Sarah, Abraham's words, Hineni, here I am.
כי זוכר כל הנשכחות אתה הוא מעולם, ואין שכחה לפני כיסא כבודך. ברוך אתה אדוני זוכר הברית.
Can you get merrily with the kids from the rope liner? Thank you.
Tekiah, Shvarim Teruah, Tekiah, Tekiah, Shvarim, Tekiah, Tekiah, Teruah, Tekiah. שפתנו ירד פניך, ירד ונישא. הרשת שפתנו ירד לפניך, ירד ונישא. מבין ומזין מביט ומקשיב לכל כל תקייתנו, ותקבל ברחמים וברצון סדר זיכרונותינו.
Page 282. You revealed your glory, a presence in a cloud, and a people became holy when you spoke with them. Amid thunder and lightning, you made yourself known. With blasting shofar, you appeared. Together, God revealed to us and to our fathers and mothers before us, God of revelation, play the song of our freedom on the great shofar. Let your banner fly over the gathering of our exiles. Bring back the dispersed. Let those who are scattered find their way home. Let joyful songs of Zion greet us in Jerusalem, your holy city, the place of our people's eternal happiness. Page 284. Baruch atah Adonai, shomea kol truat amo Yisrael barachamim. Blessed are you in our lives, Adonai. You hear with love the shofar, true voice of your people Israel.
Tekiah, Shvarim Teruah, Tekiah, Tekiah, Shvarim, Tekiah, Tekiah, Teruah, Tekiah Gedolah.
to hear the shofar blast. Sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, happy, happy New Year. We clap on 2 and 4. Hear the shofar blast. Sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, happy, happy New Year. Yeah. I liked.
Could I ask the congregation to rise as you're able, as the ark is open? Nate, come on over here to the middle.
Yeah, hallelujah,
Both of you.
Shema Adonai, ki niskaf shemo levado.
Facing her.
Adon eretz v'shamayim, vayarem kerem le'amo, tehillah lechol chasitav, livnei Yisrael am kerovo.
Lekach tov natati lechem torati al ta'azovu. For a good teaching, a precious teaching has been given to you, my Torah. Do not forsake it.
Lechol netivotecha
say thank you to our choir. Ellen, thank you so much. Our professional choir who comes with us every year, and our wonderful intergenerational choir who brings such spirit to who they are as those who facilitate prayer. We're so delighted they're here. Are they going to listen to a sermon there? You're gathering them. Gathering them, okay. You see the wonderful lady there? That's Mary Lee. Okay, listen to her. Hey, where's Rachel? Where's Rachel? Laura, come here. Do you got a shofar there? We sang the song, but you didn't blow. Come on up. Come on, Rachel. Do you want me to blow with you?
Okay, Shvarim. Trua. Okay, you ready for this one? The Tekiah Gedolah. Tekiah Gedolah. Yasher koach. Okay, now we're going to have our sermon. Thank you, Rachel, for waking us up a little bit more. I'll take it. And you all can go back with...
Rachel, you want to come with us?
Have you ever been scared? I don't mean Phantom's Revenge at Kennywood scared. I don't mean that movie was so scary scared. I don't even mean my kid broke her wrist and we went to the ER scared. No, I mean so scared your life flashes before your eyes. I have been that scared. It was spring of 1983. I was driving on a 2-lane blacktop to Seminole, Oklahoma, on my way to lead services at the little congregation that I served twice a month as student rabbi. It was one of my last visits before ordination, and driving down the highway, I saw a car roaring up the other way, a Cutlass 88, if anyone remembers those. And I noticed that it was fishtailing. The rear of it was going from right to left on the road, and I watched as the right tire dipped off the road, and the driver wrenched it back up on the surface, making it fishtail worse. At that moment, I knew we were going to crash. I was driving a Chevy Chevette. We were going at least 50 when we hit, and thank God I was wearing my seatbelt, or otherwise I would not be here today. And I remember vividly the moment of blind fear when I realized that there was nothing I could do to prevent the crash, and I had no idea what would happen to me. I think most of us have experienced that kind of fear, from car accidents to getting fired to receiving a terrible diagnosis, to hearing about affair or getting divorced, from finding out our child is in jail, learning our best friends had a heart attack. We know that kind of fear, and we feel it in the pit of our stomachs. One of the earliest examples of that kind of fear we just read in the Torah. Reading Abraham's near sacrifice of Isaac, I cannot get past the moment when Isaac realizes he's about to die. And the text is simple, direct, and clear. Abraham bound his son Isaac and laid him upon the altar on top of the wood. He stretched forth his hand and took up the knife to slay his son. Now, in the very next sentence, the angel calls out to Abraham to stop him, but there's this nanosecond between the two sentences that even we, having heard the story for the umpteenth time, are terrified for Isaac. And according to our tradition, that terror stayed with him all the rest of his life. How do we know this? We get a hint of the next generation. Isaac's son, Jacob, tries to flee from his uncle Laban with his wives, children, and livestock, and Laban chases after him. When he catches up to Jacob, they have a bitter argument, but finally reach an agreement that Jacob can go on home to Canaan. And Jacob swears he will keep his word. He swears by Elohei Avraham, the God of Avraham, and Pachad Yitzchak, the fear of Isaac. This term for God is found nowhere else in the Torah. It's a powerful phrase, Pachad Yitzchak, the fear of Isaac. And our commentators struggle to discover its meaning. But one sage has no doubts. Rabbi David Kimchi from the 12th century in Spain says this refers to the exact moment when Isaac was bound on the altar by his father, an unforgettable pachad, or fear. But we know that this fear is not limited to Isaac. Many of us here today know it, as I said before, not just remembering our Torah story. And so we ask, what kind of pachad pulls us up short today, even as we celebrate a new year? Take Dave and Nancy. They got married young, brought 3 kids into the world, and raised them with love. But after their youngest was born, Nancy was diagnosed with breast cancer. She was game to fight it with everything she had, but it was so scary. And that fear came to a head just before, the night before Nancy's bone marrow transplant. Finding a donor had been hard enough, but then the doctor told him just how painful it would be. The night before the transplant was the longest of their lives. Abraham's knife seemed to hover in the air into the wee hours above them. And though they tried to pray together, terror robbed them of words and faith. They held hands through sterile gloves and held on for dear life through tears. That is pachad. And then there's Paul. Paul's a state patrol officer. He investigates everything from speeding tickets to rural drug trafficking. And every traffic stop, his stomach flutters. Is this the time he'll not only have to draw his weapon, but use it? And he's terrified that he'll either hurt someone or be hurt because he hesitates. He has a wife and 2 teens at home, and he knows the instant he fires his weapon, his life will change forever. Late one night, Paul pulls someone over on the Parkway West, someone doing 85. At first, the driver doesn't respond, but finally pulls over, and Paul pulls him behind. He gets out of his cruiser, and to his surprise, the driver also gets out and starts walking toward him. It's a white man, and his hands are stuck in his pockets. Paul can't tell if the man has a weapon or not. So 10 yards away, Paul yells to the man to stop and take his hands out of his pockets. He stops, but his hands don't move. Paul stands his ground, shouts again for the man to show his hands. He doesn't. So Paul raises his weapon and says, "Sir, take your hands out of your pockets right now. If you don't, this will become very dangerous for both of us." The man yawns and takes his hands out, no weapon. So after patting him down, Paul says calmly, "Get back in your car and put your hands on the wheel." And the man complies, moving sluggishly. Paul approaches warily. "Now what do you want me to do?" the driver asks, slurring his speech. "You want my registration?" And he reaches for the glove compartment, and Paul shouts, "Don't!" He has no idea what's in that glove compartment. And suddenly the man darts toward the glove compartment again, and Paul's furious. He pulls the driver out of his car, handcuffs him, and places him in the back of the cruiser. And Paul checks the glove compartment, and sure enough, there's a loaded weapon inside. Paul starts shaking. It was so close, the man's hand a couple inches away. He is so lucky that night he would neither shoot nor be shot. But that was terrifying. That's pachad. And if Paul feels pachad, what about the African American men in our city who are scared from the other end of this encounter, who wonder if complying with a police officer's instructions will be enough to keep them safe? That confrontation is often fraught with pachad on both sides, and it's a fear we have not yet managed in this city or suburbs. Then there's the Cohn family. They traveled to D.C. to take part in a peaceful demonstration on behalf of immigrants. And suddenly they find themselves caught up in the midst of a brawl between hooded Antifa members and swastika-wearing hooded Klansmen. A bottle hits the father's head. Blood runs down his cheek, and the parents instinctively shield their kids with their bodies until the fight moves on. And one of the kids asks, "What was that about?" And the parents can't answer. They're shaking with fright. That is pachad. What scares you this day? What gives you the kind of pachad that won't go away with a few deep breaths, a glass of water, and a hug? Is it personal? Is it political? Does it threaten your well-being? I feel pachad today for Israel, for our beloved country, and for the Jewish people. I feel pachad for Israel. I'm no novice to his challenges. This year I will visit for my 32nd time. I'm a proud Zionist. I've lived there. I've led 11 congregational trips, and I smile when I land at Ben Gurion. It's my second home. But I feel pachad when I read stories of journalist Peter Beinart and philanthropist Meyer Kaplow being detained at Ben Gurion Airport because the government doesn't like their views or the political pamphlet they might be carrying. I feel pachad when a conservative rabbi in Haifa is hauled out of bed at 5:30 in the morning for police questioning. Why? Horror of horrors, he performed a wedding without the sanction of the state rabbinate. The only good part of the story is that requests for him to do weddings have tripled since he got interrogated. I fear for Israel because even though I understand the motivation for the recent nation-state law, it has divided Israel from within and exposed it to withering critique from without. Even President Ruvi Rivlin has said that this law is, quote, bad for the Jews and bad for Israel, unquote. That said, I believe in Israel as a Jewish state. I don't apologize for that in the least. But I also believe in the democratic ideals of Israel as set out in the Declaration of Independence. It proclaims equal treatment of all Israel's inhabitants, as well as equal standing under the law. Liberal Zionists like myself and more conservative ones like Yossi Klein Halevi believe passionately that Israel cannot be only Jewish or democratic. It must be both to fulfill its vision and promise. So I believe that stifling Palestinian identity and economic life is itself a threat to Israel's well-being. And I wonder, will I be questioned next time I land at Ben Gurion Airport? I will live with that pachad, that fear, because I love Israel so very much, but that fear is real. It's not going away. I fear for our country, the America I love. I grew up in a household with ardent political argument. We'd raise our voices at dinner, but did not attack each other. That dinner table taught me that engagement, not partisanship, is the essence of being a citizen. And I love that word, citizen. As kids, how many of you were graded on citizenship? I'll bet you a whole bunch of you were. To be a citizen means accepting rights and responsibilities. Raising voices is not enough. Citizenship demands that we inform ourselves, we advocate, and most important, vote. It's the 614th commandment. Elections determine our direction, policy, and vision as a nation. But I feel pachad when our leaders demonize other human beings as part of national policy. Demonizing Latinos and Latinas as criminal has made it possible for our government to put children in cages and separate families in a way that gives most of us chills. I'm overcome with pachad because this year our government arrested children and literally put 3-year-olds in front of judges for legal proceedings. To this day, we have not reunited all the children and their parents, despite a federal order to do so. We have taken illegal immigrants out of their homes, their workplaces, and even arrested a man driving his pregnant wife to the hospital. Doesn't this give you pachad? Now, yes, I'm scared for those who are arrested, incarcerated, separated, and deported. But I'm also scared because throughout history, such actions grow in scope and intensity. So which group should fear next? The fear of the other, the brown other, is blinding us to their humanity. This pachad is not going away. It's getting worse. And I'm terrified of the name-calling that has erupted in the Jewish community, not just during the tenure of this president. Rabbi Gorban referred to it last night. People have lost friendships. Colleagues have stopped speaking to each other. Some Jews have been seduced by the notion that if a person thinks differently from us, either that person is morally repugnant or deserving of attack. Now, we Jews are masters of argument. I won't say we invented it, but sitting in my office is the Babylonian Talmud, 20 volumes of rabbis arguing over 700 years. And with one notable exception that she referred to last night, no one is read out of our people because they disagree. But in Boston, 2 dear Reform colleagues dared to support the Muslim community that had been attacked in the Jewish press. And as a result, they themselves were attacked by Jewish conservatives online and by phone with the worst kind of personal slander. They were trolled mercilessly, deceitfully, and with malice. Even in Boston, a beacon of Jewish community vision, we have leaders who seek to ruin lives and reputations by branding opponents as enemies of the Jewish people. So let me say it here and now publicly. I am friends with right-wing Zionists and left-wing peaceniks. I meet with Muslims and have for the last 2 years invited them to share Shabbat dinner and services with us. I'm a friend of Bishop Zubik and other wonderful Catholic priests who are literally shattered over the abuse scandal. This summer, I and 2 pastors organized a rally to protest our government's policy on separating families. 800 people braved a tempest to take part, and I planned this with clergy who questioned my support for Israel. We strongly disagree, yet we work together for the common good. My dear African-American pastor friends are often to the left of where I stand, and I work with evangelicals who are certain I'm going to perdition because I don't believe in Jesus. It would be so easy to give in to the fear, to gather like-minded allies and band together against the other side. Because some dangers we face are real, not imagined. Why would we want to give aid and comfort to those whose views threaten us? Shouldn't we just gird ourselves for battle? But this is pachad speaking, not our best selves. This fear corrodes our heart and deforms our spirits. Living with the fear of Abraham's knife over our heads is no way to live. So how might we respond to the fear that grips so many of us? The opposite of fear is not love. It's not faith. It's trust. And just as we Jews are masters of argument, we have a long history of trust. Trust in God. Trust in each other. Trust that the world is good and not evil, even when we are dismayed by what is going on around us. It is in our sacred words, the first chapter of Genesis we'll read tomorrow, the whole second half of Isaiah. The world is good. God is good. Human beings have infinite potential to be good. So following Rabbi Gorman last night, I challenge us today to find someone we know we disagree with on an issue of substance, to sit down with them and talk. Find out what drives them, what makes them tick, why they believe what they do, even if we think they are wrong. Even if they are wrong, they might just turn out to be good people. As Yossi Klein Halevi wrote about his outreach to Palestinians, curiosity and empathy dissolve our self-righteousness. And it will take more than one conversation to appreciate one another whose views challenge us to the core. And we may only agree to disagree. But we are not, we must not, we cannot be each other's enemies as Jews, as Americans, as human beings. When Derek Black, the son of notorious white nationalist Don Black, enrolled in New College, the Honors College of Florida, he hid his background so he wouldn't get hassled on campus. He believed in hate just like his father. Since New College is liberal, he tried to go unnoticed, but social media, being what it is, he was outed fairly quickly, and he prepared for the worst to come. Matthew Stevenson, an Orthodox Jewish student, heard about Derek Black and the hate he stood for, and he did the only thing he could think to confront it. He invited Derek to Shabbat dinner. Derek accepted. He even brought a bottle of wine. And thus began 2 years of Shabbat dinners in which Derek Black came face to face with the Jews he had opposed his whole life. Matthew and his friends did not hassle him for his belief. No, they talked about life, art, history, music. And over time, Derek Black realized he could no longer hate Jews or blacks. Matthew Stevenson trusted that caring and friendship could build trust. And trust would be stronger than hate and fear. And he was right. Pachad, fear, is real, but so is trust. Isaac feared the worst, but he trusted that whatever happened, life or death, would in the end be for good. His trust was rewarded with life, even though that is not guaranteed for any of us. The Cohen family escaped that demonstration in D.C. without further harm, although they were terribly frightened. They learned to trust each other more than ever, and they trusted that they could and should take part in our nation's public life. Paul, the state patrolman, walked away with a bad case of nerves, but a better sense of what to do next time. He was grateful for not having to use his weapon. And he came to trust in both his training and his humanity that he would never endanger a human life unless it was to save another. Dave and Nancy suffered heartbreak when Nancy lost her battle with cancer. But Dave came to trust his family and his friends who helped him raise his kids. They are now incredible adults who trust in the love their mother taught them. That pachad, fear, did not derail their lives, though its memory will be with them forever. I survived my head-on crash. And although I will never forget the paralyzing fear, I trusted I will be all right. And though shaky, I led Shabbat services that night. When I arrived at my host home, Wendy, an osteopathic doctor, asked if she could examine me. I sat in her examination chair as she put her hands on my neck and back, and I flinched at her touch. "I'm okay," I said. "I'm sure you are," she replied. "Are you afraid I'm going to hurt you?" "No," I said, "I trust you." And Wendy said, "I'm not sure you do. Can you try to relax so I can examine your neck?" So I took a deep breath. Her hands felt cool on my neck and shoulders, and she examined me with infinite patience and gentle touch. All the time she spoke in a quiet voice. "You've had such a shock. You must have been terrified. I think you're still in shock. Do you know that no one expected you to lead services tonight except you?" Her words challenged me. Her touch soothed me. I breathed deeper and deeper until I was in a light sleep, and Wendy said softly, "You are worthy of living beyond fear. You're worthy of healing. You're worthy of life, love, and trust." She repeated her words, "You are worthy of living beyond fear. You are worthy of healing. You are worthy of life, love, and trust." Life, love, trust. I woke up. Dr. Wendy said I had many tears in my neck, but they would heal. She said I would heal, that I could trust her words. Despite all pachad, all fear, we are worthy too. I pray that our pachad, our fear as a country, as a people, and as individuals might find healing in Dr. Wendy's words. For you, all of you, every one of you is worthy of a life beyond fear. All of you worthy of life, love, and trust. You are worthy of life, love, and trust. Life, trust, love. Amen. I'm going to ask your patience, because we thought we'd be ending a half an hour ago. And although I do not apologize for any activity, prayer, song, or that we have done, we are kind of running into the nubs here as people are going to bang down the doors. So why don't you come back, Cantor Berman, and we're going to do Aleinu v'ne'emar, and then we're going to do Kaddish, and that's going to be it. Okay? So if you find your books, page 286, please rise as you are able for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר מראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu Shema, 292 Kaddish. Yikadal, Yikadash, Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yomad ivrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. V'agala v'izman kariv v'yimru. Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah v'barach le'olam olamei al-maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. Yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei Kedushah. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiram biyama v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Uyaseh shalom aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. May the source of peace in the high heavens cause peace to descend on all of us, all Israel, and our world. And may God give peace to all those who still mourn their beloved dead, as together we say, Amen. A moment. We are not going outside for afternoon service.
Correct.
4:30 in the Barnett Chapel upstairs. Yes. Tashlich will be at
5:15 on Sunday.
Sunday the 16th. We're going to start, if you want to tell the people who are waiting, we're going to start in 15 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes. Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.